Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Andy Riddle.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Activity Call. We're super excited to be part of this, and thank you, Andy and Jane, for asking us to do it. I get to hang out with two of my buddies today, Mimi Romero and Ryan Chang, and really dive into kind of what they've been doing between the New American Movement. They're traveling like crazy. They're duplicating. They're getting out working with their agents. It's fun to watch people dive into something with the alliance that Andy puts together and really starts things off. And both of them have really grabbed a hold of this and really gone after the opportunity to move. So I'm excited to talk to them. It's not people I get to talk to every day, and I'm excited to hear kind of what they're doing and what they're experiencing as they travel the country, they travel out there, and really just start helping people with different stuff they're doing. So I'm excited about today's call. I hope you guys are too. And that's a lot with this business. It's the more you grab something and go. You see people all the time do. When Andy comes out with something exciting and new, they'll grab it for like one day or do one meeting, and they're like, it didn't work, and these two have kind of like spearheaded and really just gone after stuff. And I'm sure they've gone through ups and downs. I'm sure they've gone to meetings and the people didn't show up, and I'm sure they've gone to things and been like, this one I'm super fired up about. But with that, they get surprises. They get surprise stories. They get the, they get when they're called lucky. Like Ryan's just lucky, and they don't see all the unlucky stuff that Ryan and Mimi go through as they travel and do things. And I'm just excited because you guys have kind of grabbed a hold and really are fighting through the battles to really do this stuff. So and that's really, like we were talking about on the Wednesday call, duplication. I mean, every leader inside the alliance, Andy and Jane, and every leader that falls through the alliances has success, has fought through ups and downs with different things, and that's part of the process. It's part of the growing process, part of getting better. So let's kick it off. You guys don't want to hear from me. These guys are much more sharper, much more smart than I am. They're both definitely smarter than I am. Even though I did quote Aristotle on Wednesday, so that was.
You're smart. Don't say that.
I was like, I'm quoting Aristotle. I could mess this up in a second, but cool. So let's start like kind of with both of you guys. Give a quick background of kind of who you are. I know you've been on a lot of calls lately, but there's a bunch of new people on here today that never met you, never heard from you guys. A little bit of quick little background. I usually start with the ladies first. Mimi, you good to start first, or you locked, or you want me to wait on you?
No, I'm good. I stopped at the school parking lot.
Yeah, you guys go to school early out in California. So
no, he's supposed to leave at 7:10. So I was 15 minutes early so I can drop him off on time.
Great. So Mimi, real quick, just give them a little background on yourself, kind of, and what you're doing, where you came from, how long you've been with us, what you've been doing with us, and kind of like what you're excited about and what's going on right now in your business.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Mimi Romero. I live in California, originally born and raised in Haiti. I've been here for 25 years. I'm a nerd, and I'm proud to say it, Andy. So I am a nerd. I went to school for biology and psychology. Goal was for medicine. I stopped with the master's, but I'm happy about that. I found my place here with the Alliance. I'm like, I'm good. I'll push my kids, but I'm good for my. I'm good with the masters. I'm good. But I get to do some cool stuff in my life. What with kids with autism, I did therapy with them. I coached the parents on how to handle their kids who have problems that normally you're like, oh, that kid is a brat. No, they're not being a brat. They're just having issues that you don't understand. So that was my job, to teach the parent and teach the kids and the therapist how to work with the kids, create program with them. I enjoy it, and I really love it, Andy. Because anything I do that I love people, I help people, I love it. So how did I end up here, Mimi? If you love it so much, why are you here? So, that's why sometimes people ask. Well, I got into a car accident while I was on the job. I messed up my neck and my back and stuff like that. You know how it goes with corporate America. Job is good, the money was good, but you become a liability, then they kick you to the curb. So that's what had happened. So in between therapy, someone from Stephen Davies' office called me and they said, Mimi, you'll be good at this and this and that. So I was laughing, to be honest. I didn't even have life insurance at the time because I thought I was invincible for all the young people. When you're young, yeah, you're healthy, but you're not invincible. I thought I was invincible. What do I need life insurance for? So I didn't have it. So, but they told me, yeah, you talk to people, you know how to go to people's home, you'll be fine. I said, they say two things, Andy. Two things that got me. They say unlimited opportunity, and then they say I have power over my schedule. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm in, because that boy you saw right there, he was a brand new baby when I started. And he had a lot of allergies. I was like, I love to have control over my schedule because I can take him to the doctor, but it doesn't mess with my money because I can make up those hours and then work at a different time. And then for the unlimited opportunity, I was excited because I know I'm not scared to work. So at least finally I will work in a place where my hard work will pay off. So that was my thought process about 9 to 10 years ago. Right now, what am I excited about? I'm excited about the whole New Americans thingy, and it's crazy. Like I went to Connecticut the other day. We got 40 plus people in the womb. The womb was too small, Andy. So I was like, oh my God. Stephen was shocked. He's like, oh, they threw up. We were speaking a bunch of Creole. He didn't understand much of it. Now his job, they told him, Stephen, you need to learn Creole. But it was very exciting, Andy. Finally, I can tell Andy, I had 40 plus people and they were all in my team.
That's crazy.
I'm excited. You used to call me the salesperson, but not the recruiter. Now, let's see about that, Andy Riddle. That's what I'm excited about, guys.
So awesome, man. Awesome, Mimi. Super excited, and congratulations on having the 40 people in that room. You know, that's something hard to do. You know what I mean? But it's just the dedication and continuing to do stuff and continue to talk to people. Now, you said 40 of them were Creole. All 40 were Creole.
All of them.
What the heck? Steven's got to learn a bunch of new languages. He's got, you know. So
he's in trouble.
I know he is. He's
up for the challenge, though.
Oh, great. Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. All right, Ryan, same thing, man. Give them a little background on yourself. I know you've been traveling all over. I keep seeing you on those hotspot like flyers, like traveling all over and doing different stuff. This is like a compliment. I was trying to figure out where you lived. I was like, did he move? You know, so one of those things. So
hey, thank you, Andy, for the introduction. And thank you, first and foremost, Andy and Chang, for the opportunity and the Alliance, my Alliance family. And I was just with Mimi in San Diego just, a couple of weeks back with Davies. I don't even know where I live anymore. I just know where I'm traveling to. It's one of those things where, Andy, you've been doing that for a long time and just such an inspiration to all of us. And so it's been amazing. So a little bit way of background. So I was born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan, and as a young boy at 6 years old, started watching Cinemax, HBO, Cartoon Network, those days, and just fascinated about America, the American dreams and the lives here. So at age 6, I told my mom, hey, I'm going to move to America. And of course, that did not turn out so well. There was no shot in chance, right? So persisted until I was 14 years old, and my mom said, I think you're ready. And you can move to the United States. And I have only one relative in the U.S. at the time, so that was my aunt. She lived in, of all places, Muskogee, Oklahoma. So you can kind of see that when I first moved to America, it doesn't look like the movies. It was not Hollywood. It was not L.A. or New York City. It was more cows and horses and haze than people. And as we're driving through the town of Muskogee, I was like, what is happening? Like, what's going on here? But great time, learning from people that live down south, right? It's just different. Fast forward, graduated from the University of Oklahoma, and I was with Andy actually recently. We were actually in Oklahoma City, and I was telling people that really, 10 years ago when I left Oklahoma, I was like, you know what? I need to leave this place because there's no opportunity here. And I'm going out west, California, my second dream. And 10 years ago, I was a retail manager for a brand called Tilly's, like skateboard, surfing, making $42,000 a year. And 2 weeks ago, I went back to Oklahoma City for the very first time on Andy's jet, and I had a deposit for $45,000 in July in a month. It just, you can't make this story up, crazy. And so, and really, truly, I would say this, 10 years ago, fast forward a little bit, 10 years ago, kind of still in retail at the time, working with Michael Kors. But all through my retail management career, I always worked really hard. I always want to outperform. I was one of those guys that I would dodge the mall securities at night because I want to stay in the store, which you're not supposed to stay in the mall when the mall closed. That's a big no-no. Like I would stay in the back in the stockroom, folding stuff, making sure, my store is perfect compared to anybody else. And I used to get calls from these other managers in different stores and say, hey, Ryan, what are you doing? Doesn't matter what you do. We all make the same amount of money, right? You're making us look bad. Like, what are you doing? So I was like, well, okay, well, I guess that's the corporate, right? And so then 10 years ago, I got into, financial services industry and did really well. I became a financial advisor, fully securities license, insurance license, did well. And, I was just a lone wolf running around building my practice. I would say, hey, I can control my outcome. I can control my activities. There's really not a way of thinking about building a team until 2 years ago, came to the Alliance and found an opportunity of, wow, we can sell, we can recruit, and we can build. And I think what hits me, it was back in 2020 when during COVID, that was the year that I lost my grandfather, my dad, and my grandmother, all within 7 months period. So I had to go back to Asia, to Taiwan, to handle all the funerals, and it was crazy time. And so, of course, during those family emergency, if your income is solely based off your time, your effort, I saw a dip in income, right? So we were at a hospital, we were talking the other day and saying, hey, whether you're sick laying in bed or you have family emergency, or hey, if you're just in the beach somewhere, is your money still coming in, right? And so I realized that at those moments, it wasn't. And when I saw the Alliance opportunity and see how you guys are building your business, your practice here, I was very intrigued. And so I turned on my hierarchy list the other day and just saw the last 2 years here, really learning from you guys and building, traveling, have 100 active agents. I mean, this is one of those things where like, wow. But the goal is, to increase the numbers, to get more people. And with the whole, new American, I mean, we are excited because it's one of those things where, I always can do both sides, right? Any Americans or Mandarin speaking Americans, but now it's just, we're able to talk to so many more people and introduce them to the Alliance opportunity. We're fired up. We're going to every city. We're trying to find everybody. But we're trying to find more Mandarin speaking people. I want to be like Mimi, 40 people in the room, all speak Mandarin. That'll be crazy. That'll be awesome. We're getting there.
That's awesome. When you were talking about like folding the clothes in the back of the store, it made me think of like me and Angela. We eat out probably about 7 days a week. It's rare that something's cooked inside our house, but and it was one of those holidays like where most restaurants, it might have been like Christmas Eve or something, where like everything's closed at night. And we have this one sushi restaurant that we frequent way too often. And we were the only ones in there, but we were thankful because then we didn't have to cook something that night, and we're eating sushi. And we're sitting up at the sushi bar, and we're like friends with the owners of it, and we're talking to them. And I was like, it's awesome you guys are open on Christmas Eve, so we can come here and eat since we don't cook. And he's like, yeah, the Americans are lazy. Us immigrants will work hard to do this stuff. And it, and it like pissed me off. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. It's like, it wasn't that he was wrong. It was just like it hit me, and it's like, huh, if I need to start being a new American and working like a new American, and the hiding in the back of the store like you were, Ryan, and stuff. So it was one of those things years ago. I still remember it. I don't remember exactly how he said it. I remember how I felt it, and it's like I was like, we still eat there. It didn't make me so mad that I don't go there, but it made me mad to like get off my butt and be like, we got to get moving. And that's the cool part with like what you two are doing and the movements of this. It's the fact that you guys are sticking with it. You're growing things that you do. You're traveling. Your faith in it. Kind of what Andy puts out there is in the sense of the new Americans. Like you've kept it going, and you look at the things he's done recently with bringing the seminars, and we have people like Jake and Bell Krause and Brandon Bulis that kind of like spearheaded that, and it didn't go perfect the first few times, but then it jumps on. But the people that like what you guys are doing and duplicating what Andy's putting out there, you're rewarded for it, and Mimi with the 40 people in the meeting, that's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the faithing of the new American trailblazing it and going out there? Because I mean, I don't know your path like the last few months of going through it, but I doubt it was just show up at a meeting and magically you had 40 people that speak Creole at a meeting. Like, I mean, I can't imagine it was that simple. So you kind of talk about like what you've done and how you've built to that point, and how you're talking to people, because that's one of the things I think we miss so often is, Andy talks a lot about the 3-foot rule and getting around people and hey, you look familiar, where do I know you from? And it's with the new Americans, it kind of just with the movement and having the opportunities to do that, it opens up the people that you can talk to, and you can say, well, what would I have in common with someone like Mimi? Me and Mimi are actually good friends, but I mean, like, what do we have in common? She's from Haiti, I'm from America. I was like, what are we doing different? But it's like, it's being inquisitive. Like, where's that accent from? Knowing those things. And so talk a little bit about how that journey's been in this short period of time, going from like 0 people in Connecticut to like 40. Like what kind of things have you gone through? What kind of things have, and kind of how that has worked?
So, like you said, Andy, it wasn't just, from nothing and then 40 all of a sudden, like you said. It's been a journey. We took to heart what Andy gave us. To me, it got me excited, because if you look at my team, I really didn't have that many Haitians on my team, Andy. It's no joke. I have family members. I have some people, but not a whole lot. But when I look at people on stage, all these Haitians winning, I said, why can't I find them? I'm a little bit like you. I'm competitive. I just play quiet. But I was like, man, I look at all these Delilah, Gary, all these people. I said, how can I find them? And then when Eddie came to California and he started the whole movement about we're going to have a breakout in Mandarin and all these different languages, I was not about to have him not to have one in Creole. So me and him, we started arguing about it. I said, I need a womb. I need a womb where I can have a breakout in Creole and stuff like that. Because I know if I commit to Andy to do something, I'm going to make sure I do it, because I want him to respect me. I respect him, and I want him to know that I respect him so much. When he give me a task, I will do well at it, even if I struggle with it. Does that make sense? It gives me a new passion, a new vision. So the moment we went to convention, and then we did all that, and I look at the room of the people. We had about 18 Haitian Creole-speaking Haitians in the room. I was excited about it, but I was like, no, we need more. We need more. Let's work on it. So we do a lot of motivation. I create a group chat, and with the Haitian agent in the alliance, at least that I know of. So we have a group chat, and then the Thursday calls in Creole is what drove me crazy. That's why we've been having a lot of good numbers compared to the other group, because I took it to heart. They say, Mimi, you crazy. You're always in competition. I say, yeah, life is a competition. You have to compete. So every time we have those calls, I always strive to have more people, new people, new people. So I start sending it to friends and family all over the states because it's in their own language. They can't tell me they don't understand anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that kind of like fuel my passion to get started with that. And then I always had a couple agent in Connecticut, Andy. That's what's funny about it. And then we thought about it. Oh, me from California, Haiti to California. I'm like, if it's too cold, I don't think I want to go to Connecticut. But with this, I was like, no more excuses, Mimi, you going. So we planned it together. And Steven asked me, where do you want me to go to help your team? I said Connecticut. Because I always knew there was potential there. But for one reason or another, I wasn't driven to go at the time. But so I talked to the team and all that, and then we strategized. Okay, this is what we're gonna call this. All 40 were not direct to me; they were in my downline. Does that make sense? Like my other agents really drove them to the meeting. So we talked to people on the street. They talked to people on the street, at work. One of them does taxes and things like that. So he just called everybody that he according to him, he had a list of 50 people that he called, and the other one had a different list. And then between the two of them, we strategized, and then people showed up. And then now they're getting in class. Some of them probably on this call right now. Takes a minute, but we did it.
Yeah.
We're hoping to double next month.
That's
We're going
crazy.
back. Yep.
And it's pulling together as a team to do those things. And it's kind of one of those things when you go through stuff and you're building something, the tightness of the unit, how they come together. And I love how you said it's like they weren't all 40 direct to you. It's like there's people there helping you build this. And those are the people you get that tightness with because they're in the battle with you. And that's one of the things people always say, how do you build a good culture in your team? Have a team that's in a fight with you. You know what I mean? It's like, if they're not in the fight with you, it's kind of hard to build a culture. You know what I mean? And having that togetherness and sticking togetherness and working together to do it. I love what you got going on there. And I love hearing, the success you're having, fighting through these things and have that stuff. So I'm super proud of you. And I know traveling across the country from California to Connecticut's not a short flight. You know what I mean?
No, all day. One day to go, one day to come back.
Yeah.
One thing I do, Andy, really quick, that I sell people on is that where you're going to go to a company, you're going to have your own thing in your own language. There's no insurance company in America doing that. Only us doing it. We give you all the resources to have a CEO he doesn't care about your color, doesn't care about your accent, all he cares what you do. That's what I sell people on. And then we have the resources. I went to Connecticut. Even before I went, Andy already told me, I'll pour resources to help you grow. Where are you going to get that?
Yeah.
That's what I sold them on. I sold them on the culture of the alliance and the opportunity that we have in what Andy's trying to create. And then people get excited.
That's awesome. And he always pours in. He always helps. He always does. That's one thing about Andy is no matter what it is, he gives more than he takes, in the sense of what he puts in and helps people with. And a lot of times it goes unnoticed because they just think it's expected, you know what I mean? But it's like, but when you take advantage like you have and you and Ryan have and really poured into things, it's kind of like steroids. It just jump starts everything that you have and the ability you have to move and stuff.
That's true.
All right, Ryan, I know you're doing a lot of traveling. I know you're around Oklahoma, Vegas, California. I see you're going to Scottsdale, or you just were. I can't remember if you're going or just were there or both. And you talked last time about that your paycheck was $40,000 in a month. I mean, was it a month or a week? But
month.
Yeah. A month, okay. And just kind of having that momentum build for you. What kind of things have you been noticing when you're getting out and you're moving like you're doing? You know what I mean? Getting out there and traveling and getting around stuff. How are you making that work? And what are you experiencing as you're out there fighting the fight, man?
Right. I mean, I think just the horizon, the way how I'm thinking now is so much bigger. I remember when I first came into the company and met Alex Abian, and I remember Abian told me, he said, "Hey Ryan, like we need more representations on stage. We need more people like us." And then now fast forward, Andy pushed out the New American Movement, and it's one of those things where I take from what Mimi is saying, because she's crushing it, she's getting numbers. And what often I say now to a lot of my teammates, and every call I talk about the people that speaks Creole, I talk about the Nigerians that we have. I'm saying, hey, they're killing it. Like, what are we doing? Like, are we gonna take pride or what? So it's kind of like one of those things. Is a very healthy competition, and you're kind of leveraging what other teams are doing. And if it wasn't for the New American Movement, I probably wouldn't travel so much, because now I'm so excited to grow. And we recently got just one Mandarin speaker licensed agent from a different IMO in Michigan, of all places. Never been to Michigan, but since I got her to 3 weeks ago, now we got 3 more from the same organization, all licensed. And matter of fact, one of the agents already submitted an annuity, $50,000 annuity, another 50 coming in this week. Already got paid for it this past Wednesday. That's on payroll. It's unbelievable in terms of what we can do now. Talk to even my own staff, right? She's half Chinese, half white, and now her brother's in the business with just passed his license exam. Super excited. He used to go door to door in Florida selling home securities. But now we got this group of guys that are like excited, young, aggressive. So now I'm like, okay, when am I going to Florida? When am I going to Michigan? How do I plan my schedules out? And while you're out there, at the same time, the 3 foot rules. You're traveling, you're in an Uber, you're in a hotel somewhere, you're just talking to people. Hey, like, you see someone that's Nigerian. Hey, I work with a group of people in my company. They're crushing it. You have a story to tell. You have a lot of things you can share with people and get them excited about. Hey, they can probably see themselves doing what we do, right? Having time and have their own schedule, earning a limited amount of income. But lately, the 3 full rules, which is interesting. I was hoping to get more 3 full rules, in the Mandarin market. But I've been getting a lot of Nigerians. So we got a few Nigerians in my pipeline that we're working with. But I think what's great about it is that now, Andy, when I first really started my career, most of my clientele are Mandarin speakers only. And now I'm going back to my clients or I'm sharing with them, not only because back then you're thinking about, okay, how can I make everyone a client, right? As an advisor, as an agent, like I'm just client focused. But now it's going back to that book of business and say, hey, are you looking for some additional way to make extra income? And people are looking. So now I'm getting clients of mine that are interested in our business, inviting them on the New American call on Mandarin. So there are just so many ways that we can do this now, and kind of go back to the basic of just finding people, 3 full rules. And I think the main point, guys, is I always share with people, I say it's not about the results. The results will come. It's about the activities on the front end. You can control the activity, which is sharing, which is you traveling, which is you put yourself out there to say, hey, look, I found something. It's incredible. Are you looking for ways to make additional income? Are you open for another opportunity, right? To do this part-time, sometime, anytime, full-time. And so with that being said, I just like, wow, how much can I do? I try not to sleep as much, although I still need to sleep. But just like we wake up excited, like we're gonna kill these things. And the dream is literally, when I always go back to the rooms of convention when we're having a convention, and I look at the entire room, and I just picture, man, what can I do to get Andy to force to expand the convention center where the other side is people that speaks different languages, like full of Mandarin speaking, full of Creole speaking, our breakouts, or we need another bigger conference room for our breakouts, like selling stadiums. Like I'm thinking really big, and just like, let's take this opportunity and run with it, and just do not stop the activities. As long as you do the activities, good things will happen.
I like how you said that too. Is you're not just hired Mandarin. Like you've come across and found people in Africa, and that's kind of like what Andy's put together with the different calls and stuff. you're not limited to just that either. Just like I'm not limited to just me. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
you have the ability to go out there. Like I don't speak Mandarin, but I can plug them into you. I don't speak Creole, but I can plug them into Mimi. And that's the cool thing too. And mixing the diversity that we have where we go out there, and it for me it takes away the I guess the fear to talking to someone that I don't relate to, because I'm like, what am I going to do with them? You know what I mean? Because I don't know how to speak, but I have the resources now. Andy's put out the resources to really help us, do those different cultures and really help do it. We were joking about Steven having to learn Creole, but
You will do it.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it gives them the ability to do that and lean into Mimi and her team to do that, lean into you for the Mandarin side. And it really just helps expand what we're doing and fill, like what you're saying, Ryan, is fill the stadiums, fill a stadium and having the huge conferences to have different languages and different parts and the breakouts and stuff. So, could you give like one piece of advice to somebody out there that's new, or someone that hasn't really given it a shot for the new American kind of jumping into it and talking to people like in the 3-foot rule and going in there? Could you give them like one piece of advice, kind of like what you would do to duplicate what you guys are doing that you think really has helped you guys get the momentum and going, to help someone get over their fear or whatever it is, why they're not doing that, and really just jumpstart them to get to expand into that? Mimi, could you go first?
Yeah. And I'm gonna back you up on what you just said, Andy. When you found somebody you can't relate to, but now you have a bunch of people, you have resources. You have me, you have Ryan, you have Olga, you have all these people that you can send them to. Like last night, Nicole from ABTF was meeting with a group, I think 12 people with Haitian descent in New Jersey. They are not in my team. Let me say that clear. So I like the fact people are taking advantage of that, the new American thing. So Nicole met with them, have dinner with them yesterday. And then she texted me. She said, Mimi, can I call you at one point to have you talk to them? Yeah, of course. So then she went and have dinner with them. They already recruited them. I don't know how, but people are taking advantage of this movement to reach out to people that are outside of the culture and then connect them with me. So that's what we did last night. So what I would say, just continue duplicating that and then let them know, hey, I have somebody in your culture. I'll tell you another person who's really good at that even before the new American is Mike Leventovich, because he has a few Haitians in his team. They want him, he recruit them, he connects them with me. Some of them have done something, some of them haven't. But he's always good at connecting his Haitians with me. And it's the same thing with all the different culture. Like I have a lady in Connecticut I was working with. She's Hispanic. I connected her with Mercedes, Lucero, and all that. So don't be scared. I said, just talk to anybody. And if you need that support with that specific culture and language, and then reach out. Let them know you have, hey, I have a friend from Haiti. She's doing well. And then we have a whole group of Haitian culture. I will tell you another story, Andy. There was one guy, he's been with us. He's Haitian. He wasn't in my team, but I was connected with him a couple of years ago to help him out. I never heard from him anymore. And then yesterday I reached out. I said, what's going on? Do you know we have a new American thing going on? We have our own group chat and all that. And he said, oh, I almost left, Mimi. I said, why? He still haven't told me why. But I said, can I add you to the Haitian group chat? He said, of course you can. I would be excited. That would be motivating and stuff like that. Now he's into our group chat. So just talk to people, no matter what language, what culture. I believe we have it here, and then connect it with us. And then I think that's simple.
And kind of to go with what you have, we've had that culture for years. We just didn't split it into the different different points. You know what I mean? And like for you, you've always plugged into the Alliance culture, and it's really helped you. But there's other people that just didn't feel comfortable, like you're saying, like that guy you reached out to, and now like the comfort's there. You know, and it's still there, and it's still it's the same culture. It's just we're speaking their language. You know what I mean? Or
That's right.
you know, literally and figuratively, he's speaking their language to do it. So, but really just trying to pull it together and really just expand things. Same thing for you, Ryan. Could you give like some advice just to get someone that's uncomfortable in the process to move forward, to start doing it?
Yeah, so I think I want to say this too is, you know, it has to be in your mind before it's in your wallet. It has to be in your mind first. You have to start thinking bigger and knowing that we are the Alliance. You are not alone here. You're in the business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. I see Andy do this for a long time, where when I first take myself as an example, when I first came to the Alliance, guess who Andy wanted me to connect with? Chris Norris. Another security license to another security licensed person. If they are an engineer, they plug them into Mike himself. I remember Stage to Success. Andy was at the front of the stage where during a break, and I saw him talking to a lady that's Asian looking. I'm pretty sure, I don't know what nationality she is, but I was like, okay, he's talking to someone that's the Asian lady. And I have a sense in my heart. I say, I think he needs my help. And next thing you know, he turns to the back room and starts screaming my name. I was like, yeah. So literally you came up to them and he said, hey, I want you to connect with her. She's new in Bel Air's team out in Florida, Mandarin speaking. And, you know, here we go. Just make that connection. So also the power of a leverage, right? If you're thinking, oh, well, like a lot of people in this business, well, I haven't even got my license yet, or I haven't really sold the first policy yet. Why should I go out there and what do I have to back me to recruit somebody into this business? We know this, right? I mean, the leverage of people who has been doing this for a long time, the people that are in your team, your growing uplines, we're all here to help you grow. I remember I did a meeting with Adebisi, and she has a Mandarin speaker that came to the estate planning seminar, and she needs some help with translation. I was like, tell me when. I'll hop on a call with you, right? But I know for a fact that if I'm talking to someone that's a Nigerian Uber driver, someone from Cameroon, well, I can plug that person into them as well. Although a lot of things that we do, we might not have, you know, we might not make a penny, you know, of the things we do, but that's not what it's all about, right? Raising tides, raise all boats, right? That's part of the whole integrity thing, right? And so I would say it has to be your mind before your wallet. Don't wait, right? The opportunities are out there, and especially do it now. Now or right now, because my gosh, like every time when I walked out of my house, I'm like, who else can I talk to? And if you get close to me, 3 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot, I'm going to try to get close to you and see if you want an opportunity. Andy, this is what I'm finding out in the marketplace, Andy. People are looking, like they are looking for an opportunity. And when you share this opportunity, I cannot tell you how many times people say, hey, my wife and I have been thinking about this. We've been thinking about, hey, and now we have kids, multiple kids now, and is there something that we can maybe work remote, allows us to have more time back, something we can have more control with, and just, you know, not have the cap, right, in income. You know, I said this in one of the trainings, say, hey, if you guys ever get one of those response, is this commission, right? And I say my response is yes, lots of it. Unlimited amount, because for people like myself that are in the industry and people who are looking at this opportunity, we're looking for ways to make unlimited income, because we know that salary is just commission but capped, right? And you still have to perform anyways. A guy that's flipping burgers at McDonald's, try to put the ketchup outside the box versus inside the bun and see what happens. Right, you'll get fired. Like your commission's over, right? So you're getting paid the cap salary, the cap commission by performing your duty. And when I interview a lot of my wealthy clients, I say, why makes you want to be an entrepreneur? Why makes you want to have an opportunity to go out there and build something for yourself? They'll say, well, Ryan, I'm going to work hard anyways. I'm going to work hard anyways, regardless. I want to make sure I'm able to build something where I can be proud of that. Maybe I can sell one day, maybe I can leave behind as my legacy one day, but I don't want to spend the next 30 years, Andy, to build someone else's dream. And when I'm 60, 65, I have nothing to show for it. And so that drives me so much in terms of people are desperate. They're looking and they want an opportunity. And I would say there's no other better opportunity than here at the Alliance, especially now with the New American Movement. And we can get into the whole, foreign national market. There's a lot of money in there. So
So Ryan, like, could you talk? Because you made me think when you were talking there, like when you first said when you were a kid you wanted to come to America, like you dreamed of it, and then you went to Oklahoma. But could you talk about like the thoughts of like why did you want to come to America? Because I think your thought may be a lot of everyone else's. You know what I mean? That have come. What were you chasing? What did you see? What did you want? Because when you said something like when you talk to someone that's like they've been looking for something, it's kind of the same thing here. It's like when I call through someone's list, they're like, I've been praying for an opportunity like this. You know what I mean? And you're getting the exact same thing. And I'm guessing it's even more frequent than when I call through a list. But could you talk a little bit about like as a kid, is your dreams and what you're finding when you're talking to these people and bringing them on board?
Absolutely. And so as a young boy, so in Asia, things are very cramped. We don't have a whole lot of space. So just even as a child, I mean, like I have like a small little window. I can look out the window, and when you look out the window, you see another building. Right? This is like literally like the building's like 10 foot from you. So in that environment where things are so cramped, things are going so fast, there's so many people, there's cars, mopeds, and people everywhere, public transport, you kind of feel you're really squeezed in. And one thing about America is just like, man, like I look outside, man, I can't even, I can see miles and miles down, and just thinking about thinking big and thinking about the range, right? The range. So so for our business, it almost looks like, okay, well, we were doing what we do, but now the range of going out to talk to people in different languages and talking to people in different culture, a different background. You don't have to be speaking that same language. You don't have to be the same culture or ethnic background as them, right? But we have people here that you can definitely leverage. And, by coming here, although I was a little culture shock from a big city to farmland and like only farmland, I remember first day of school was like people are in cowboy hats, boots, and big, like those really big belt buckles. I was like, what is happening here? I'm still like just doesn't, but again, you try to fit into the culture, and you quickly find out, in the South, right, people are like, okay, like academics, cool, but can you play football? Right? So it's one of those things like you're making adjustments as well. But so as an advisor that came from a more of a captive situation and only working with clients, is the same thing coming over here. It's like, wow, it's almost like that transition again, going from Taipei and those city cramped to America, the land of the free, the land of the opportunity. And now it's like you look in the mirror, look in yourself, say, okay, what am I going to do to make sure that, hey, it's out there for the taking, but how bad do you want it?
I'm muted. That's great, man. And it's just the opportunity you keep talking about and leaving and doing that. There's so many stories of people that come to America for the dream, and we can provide it for them. So same thing to you, Mimi, real quick, is kind of, are you running into similar things that Ryan was talking about when you're talking to these people, like coming aboard your team and the new people coming aboard as you talk to them?
Be a little more specific for me. What?
Like where they're coming across like, I've been dreaming about this, I've been praying for this, this is what it's almost like when Ryan's talking, I hear it's like, this is what he came here for. You know what I mean? And now he found it. Andy always talks about it for years that I've been around him. He's always like, it's you're looking for like when I met Andy 18 years ago, I saw this as my one shot that I've ever had in my life to be successful, to make unlimited money. Like I had gone through corporate America. It was like my one shot. Like I've never had an opportunity to really do something again. And for the new Americans coming forward, I think a lot of them is from what we're hearing Ryan talk about, is that's chasing the American dream, why they came here originally. But even though they have that dream, corporate America still probably isn't their solution, as Ryan was saying. So, so are you running into people and stories you're running into where they're like, I've been praying for this, or I've been dreaming about this. That's why, have you have any stories like that from the people you brought aboard?
Yes, Andy. And even on that last meeting we had a lot of people saying, praying about it. They're like, Jesus, you brought this to me. You're gonna help me pass that test, because a lot of people, it's the language issue that get them, and then a lot of them already have full-time job. There was one lady on the meeting. She said, Mimi, I can't even stand up anymore because I've worked too long, for long hours. She's a CNA. And she already did her 12 hours, and then she showed up to that meeting. She's like, that's why I'm praying for this opportunity to work for me, because I'm tired of working long hours. And then I have another lady, she's about my age, but she has a daughter who's 21, finished college. And then she told me, she said, Mimi, my daughter told me when she's ready to have kids, she doesn't want to be like me because I work too much. I work too much and too hard. He said, I used to be not seeing my kids for long because I was going from one job to another job. And then the daughter said, I don't want to be like you, Mom. This is too much. I want an opportunity where I can be at home, take care of my kids, but still be working and stuff like that. So now the daughter is the one getting into the business. She's just college graduate, 21 years old and stuff like that. And then the mom said, that's what we've been praying for. That was your dream. And then now I'm talking to her, and then I'm going to connect her with Steven and stuff like that. And then to help her out. Yes, we have a lot of example of people saying, I've been praying for this, been working hard all my life. So now this is my opportunity to shine. What I talk to people, Andy, my own story, like my dad, I didn't have Ryan's dream. I don't know. I'm weird. I didn't have any American dream, but I had dreams, okay? Maybe let's call them Haitians or Mimi's dream. Because I really, really didn't have it. But my dad had the American dream. That's why he came to America, right? So he left 10 kids back home. And then he came, he's like, all I want is a shot.
Yeah.
And he came for it. He risked his life and came to America. He left 10 kids. My youngest sister was born when my dad was here. So to tell you, the man made a lot of sacrifice just for a better life. So he came and worked hard. That's the thing with what you say your friend said at the restaurant. It's not to offend you or anything. It's because as foreigners, we know the difference. We know the difference. We were not born in what America has. So that makes it seem like we're more hungry. Does that make sense?
Right.
It's because we see an opportunity that we don't have back home. So now we want to grab a hold of it and kill the heck out of it. You see what I'm saying? Because, hey, what if I have to go home? So I want to make sure I have everything I need. So when I go back, I can leave the island life, But that's the truth. So foreigners don't come to America just to have fun. So if they do that, they don't stay. They come to visit and go back home. If they come to work, they come to work and make a difference in their lives, in their family lives. So that's why they work hard. So with the Haitian community, and I know it's for any foreign communities, they work in multiple jobs. CNA, whatever you call it, Walmart, they're working a lot, Andy. So if you can build the confidence, hey, you came here to make money, to work and make a difference in your life. What if I show you a way where you don't have to work 3-5 jobs and you can still be there for your kids? You make your money, you can take care of your kids, you can be on your kids' life. You know what I mean? Instead of you work so much you don't even see them. When I feel like I don't see enough of my kids, I work from home because I have the option to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I take them to events. But you have that flexibility where you can have it all. So that's the vision. And I think with a lot of foreigners, it's the language, it's the language barrier for a lot of people. But if you can get them past through that with support, like I'm working with one of my guys, I said, dude, you should just teach the class. Teach it in Creole. We'll blow this thing up. That's how far we're thinking. So for me, Andy, like I said, I did not have the American dream, but I had a dream to win, to be successful. But I only knew how to do that through school. That's why when I came here, I'm gonna have a regular life. I thought regular life was people were making just the basic. I'm like, I'm gonna make a high income. I'm gonna go to school, learn the language, immerse myself in the culture, so that way I can be one of the top people. The little that I know, I will be doing my own business with the alliance, and I'm excited. That's amazing. I'm glad I found the alliance found me.
And like where you're talking about, like your dad leaving 10 kids, you know what I mean, to come chase it. I was in Raleigh last week, and I met this lady. She came from Africa, and she was a lawyer there. And basically it's like she went through everything to become a lawyer there. And when she comes here, it means nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So if she wants to be a lawyer again, she has to go through all the schooling again, all that again. So she was willing to give that up to chase something here. You know what I mean? And that's just that's what you're dealing with. And it's so exciting because you have people this is their shot. You know what I mean? Like I know all three of us felt this was our shot when we saw it, and we took chances and we did things. And there's so many out there in the new Americans and the stuff we have going on. It's so exciting, and the different opportunities that we have when you find people that want to do something, want to work, want to be super successful. Hey, Ryan, coming back to you, I know you've been doing a lot with the high net worth and the foreign national stuff. Could you talk a little bit about that, how you're finding more of that with the new American movement and the stuff that kind of goes with that?
Absolutely, yeah, and maybe thank you earlier for sharing that about your dad too, just because, like, I'm thinking that like I'm kind of like your dad. Like, this is my dream. This is the things that I wanted to do because Andy and maybe just to share with our company a little bit. Just like when I used to call my dad, I'll say, Dad, how's things are going? How are you? And my dad, although hard worker, but just the response is, same old, nothing's changed, nothing's much, nothing's different. Like, I don't want to be that person that answered that question to my son. Like, I want to be like, I'm traveling here, I'm talking to these people, and they're doing great, and I'm learning from them. When you gonna come travel? You know what? Like little Andy's growing up, he's gonna be 9 months in a week. I'm like, man, like, when is he gonna get his license? I know it's still like so far away, but it's like that motivates me so much in terms of what I'm building, because like, Andy, you are that difference maker for your family. Mimi, you're that difference maker. I'm that difference maker. Like, when at some point in that generation, all right, somebody is that one. Like Andy Albright is that one that takes his entire family tree and just completely changed the entire trajectory in the better path, right? And so, gosh, like the opportunity, and it comes with, I've been dabbling too with, the foreign high net worth foreign national market for a while, just because I know that there's a lot of needs and helps are out there. And it's such a great, amazing way to bridge our estate planning seminar. When Andy brought in the estate planning seminar, and I thought about, okay, well, we can definitely connect and bridge the high net worth market as well. So on the last product call that I did, I mentioned the fact that these high net worth foreign national individuals, they are facing an extreme high tax liability, and they might not even know it. Right? So, and because we talk about here in America, especially here in America, guys, it's not about what you make, it's about how much you get to keep. Okay. And a lot of foreigners, they kind of know this. Well, America's a land of opportunity, but also the land of taxes, right? I don't know how many taxes we have in there. We got ordinary income, we got state tax, dividend tax, capital gain tax, resorts fee, resource tax. I mean, all tax, right? And I was talking to, in Scottsdale, I was saying, hey guys, let me ask you a question. What is the biggest money liability that we all have in our lives? Well, the answer is taxes. You pay taxes every day. At home, you're paying taxes because last time I checked, property tax only goes up, never down. When you go outside, when you drive your car, when you pump gas, when you buy something, you're getting taxed. You go out to lunch, dinner, you're paying tax again, right? So I think the tax issue is going to be really, really big. And what I mean by that is, so for most Americans and people who are here in the United States, well, there's a thing called the estate tax threshold. For most of us, especially now that the one big beautiful bill has passed, right? We have a $15 million threshold as an individual, but you have to understand that these foreign national clients, these new Americans are coming in to invest their dollars, to diversify, buying real estate, building business here. Their threshold is not $15 million. It's a tiny, tiny bit of a $60,000 threshold. That's all they get, right? So, with that being said, I say, well, like, for example, you don't want to see Andy Riddle's original tax bill before any strategies been put in place. You definitely don't want to see Andy Albright's tax bill, before there's any tax strategy being put in place. So when it comes to transferring wealth and leaving a legacy for these foreign national markets, I always ask them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, do we pay the taxes? You're going to pay the tax. Do we pay the tax dollar per dollar or pennies on a dollar? Right? Guys, we level up here, right? Write this down. Is it dollars per dollar or pennies on a dollar? Okay? Because rich and wealthy people do not get to where they're at by being stupid with their money. Right? For example, Mr. Andy Riddle, you are constantly looking for ways to accumulate wealth, finding the best deals in the marketplace, and discounting opportunity. The pattern of threes. I always make 3 points. Always the pattern of three. Accumulating wealth, you're finding the best deals in the marketplace, and you're finding discounting opportunity, right? How our team, right, always now going forward say our team. Don't say, well, I. How our team could be a resource to use is we help high net worth individual domestically here and high net worth individual internationally to manage, mitigate, and minimize taxes. Manage, mitigate, and minimizing taxes. Again, the pattern of three is very powerful. And so when you're looking at these individuals that are out there, they're building businesses, they're different country, they're speaking different languages, they've brought their kids here, or maybe their kids were born here first generation. When you're booking these appointments where you're in person talking to them, man, it just has to, hey, if you believe in math and you hate paying taxes, we're going to be really good friends. That's how I book my appointments. If you believe in math, like one apple plus another apple is 2 apples, and you hate paying taxes, we're going to be really good friends. And I want everybody on the call, everyone in the entire company, I don't care what's final expense. I don't care if you're positioning mortgage protection. I want you to say this to your clients every time. Mr. and Mrs. Client, we're just trying to help you turn small money to big money, no tax. That's life insurance. Life insurance is not that complicated. It's small money to big money, no tax. Right? What happened with the foreign national market is we're all of us here on this call, we're on that VIP line, right? We have the $15 million threshold, and we're in the VIPs. We don't have to even jump through hoops. We have carriers. Most of our carriers don't need a medical, right? But these foreign national clients are facing these big tax problems going forward. They want to transfer wealth. They want to leave a legacy, but they're facing a big tax problem. They're not on the VIP line. They have to be here, right? They have to go through medicals, right? They have to have, limited choices of carriers, but they need to do it. So going forward, these high net worth foreign national business, it's not only a financial strategy for them. It's something is essential. They have to do it. Back to my point, is it dollar per dollar or is it pennies on a dollar? You choose. Right? But what we're going to help you as a resource, and our team's going to help you manage, mitigate, and minimizing taxes going forward.
I love it, man. That was great tips on kind of getting to them and showing the tax stuff. Both of you guys, I appreciate so much you guys getting up. I know you're on the West Coast, so it's early morning for you guys, and getting up and being on the call and sharing what you're doing. Hopefully, for the Alliance Nation. They've cleared up a little bit to make you start using the 3-foot rule, getting around people, even if you're not comfortable, in the sense that you don't necessarily don't relate to say, hey, you look familiar, how can we do this? And because you're going to find a lot of people like the stories they've been sharing today, as you dive into that market. Real quick, guys, just before we close, I just want to point out a few things. If you go to the allianceevents.com, there's some great things going on this week, this weekend even. Big boot camp up in Chicago with Adam Katz, Diane Lampy, me and Angela Riddle, Olga Mathis, a bunch of people, Gina Hawks, Mike and Kate Maurice are all going to be there. So if you have anyone in the Chicago area, I mean, even when I say Chicago area, I'm saying like 5-6 hour radius of Chicago, try to get them there. Sebastian LaQuinta Chambers, they're on the Wednesday call with us. They're in Shreveport, Louisiana. So if you have anyone in that area, Stephen Davies and Noah Leventovich will be in Detroit this coming week on the 25th. Mike Leventovich and Mike Mauricio will be in Franklin, Tennessee, which is basically just outside Nashville. So we have a lot of meetings coming up, and these are great opportunities to get your team and get people that you're talking to in these areas around the team, around the culture, around the environment that we have, and as we expand it. So let's keep it going. I'm proud of both of what you guys are doing with the traveling and the work you both are putting in. Super excited to see what comes to you guys in the next 90 days. And I'm so glad you guys are part of the team to really help everyone out and spearhead this. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.